I think Iran's announcement yesterday that it was breaking off peace talks, it was to compel the United States maybe to come back and to negotiate seriously. Now, Trump is insisting that they're still talking to the Iranians, but the fundamental demands of Iran still have not been met, and you still have Israel carrying out attacks in Lebanon. So I don't see
more information. I got more information
for
you. Sirens are still sounding in Kuwait. It's been nonstop for at least 10 minutes. And there's reports of 4 to 5 explosions are reported. Cause undetermined.
Yeah. And they say that their air defense system is working. What air defense system? Let's say if they got Patriots, okay. If Iran's just fired 2 missiles, that means they still had Patriots. There are 4 more PAC-3 missiles gone. They're no longer there. They've been used up. And it's not even clear that they could hit a ballistic missile. So drones, PAC-3 will hit a drone, but the ballistic missile is very questionable. So but the point is there a serious negotiation underway or not? And I would argue that the United States refuses to make the kinds of concessions demanded by Iran. And Iran is not about to make the concessions demanded by the U.S. So that ergo, you have an impasse.
A Kuwait source tells one of the outlets that's reporting this that some explosions are reported further south in Kuwait, meaning Ali Al Salem Air Base may not have been a primary target, but possibly Camp Arif Jan. And there's been again reports of explosions. Reports of impact, reports of explosions. There's footage of the missiles in the air in Shiraz, footage from Shiraz, Western Iran, of at least 3 ballistic missiles shown on video. And it feels like it's in Iran that's going to be acting more aggressively, like we saw in Lebanon when Israel threatened to bomb Dahya. Iran escalated and threatened to strike Israel and suspended the talks. When Project Freedom happened, Iran struck Fujairah. They didn't just strike a few ships, they struck Fujairah. So it seems that Iran's making it clear either a diplomatic solution or the alternative is going to be very ugly. And something funny enough, Colonel Wilkinson was saying very similar things to you. He has concerns that Iran may get a nuke from Pakistan. And he's like, Trump needs to get out as soon as possible because either they may get one or they may have already gotten one. And Ted Postal says, and his concern, I'm sure you know, his concern is that they've 80% likely they've already developed one. So it's just more and more indications that things are bad now, but could get a lot worse.
Well, yeah, and the point of Iran getting a nuke or having a nuke would be to forestall and prevent the United States and Israel from launching a nuclear attack on Iran, because in the past they've threatened to use nukes to stop them from acquiring it. But once you have it, then all of a sudden you're on an equal footing and can fire back, particularly against Israel. Israel is much more vulnerable to a nuclear attack than Iran is, simply by virtue of its small size.
Yeah, so more reports now. Camp Arif Jan, southern Kuwait, has also been targeted. They targeted 2 bases in Kuwait. But I didn't hear many explosions in Qasem Island. It wasn't like a significant American attack. I think this is a new reality right now. Iran has 2 deterrents against any aggression. It goes back to the point, why do they need a third? Why do they need a nuclear weapon? They've got the Strait of Hormuz, and they've got the entire Gulf. A million targets for them to strike, depending on what was struck inside Iran. Goes back to Trita Parsi's idea of Iran may strike UAE as a way to deter Israel. They can strike any Gulf country. They've been focusing on Kuwait, not the UAE recently, maybe because Kuwait is being used for these American operations. But I don't know what happened behind the scenes, maybe some agreement between Iran and the UAE, some concessions from the UAE. There's a lot we don't know behind the scenes, but at least we're seeing now, not at least, we're seeing now. There we go. There's footage of sirens being activated earlier. So I think the sense of the Gulf being that secure, stable, predictable region is over. Now we know that Iran is not survived this. They're going to come out stronger, and Iran is, going to draw on the new rules of conduct, and that includes targeting the Strait of Hormuz and targeting the Gulf.
Yeah, Iran is saying, "Hey, you've got to take us seriously, and you've got to make peace with us." Now, you notice they're not attacking Saudi Arabia. They're not attacking Qatar. Kuwait and UAE are the two most vulnerable.
Yeah, but I would have.
I'm ignoring Bahrain because Bahrain's so small. It's irrelevant now anyway.
They haven't struck Qatar. Qatar said a few days ago that Iran charging it via the Strait of Hormuz, they understand it, but they think it should be temporary. But that's already a pretty big leap forward by saying them charging it Strait of Hormuz. There was a report today, actually. Let me read this out to you since we're talking about the Gulf. There's two reports. One of them is, it was yesterday. Apparently, the U.S. administration is getting pretty upset with Oman. Let me see if I find it here. There it is. No, this is not it. So there was a report I saw today that the U.S. is starting to get frustrated with Iran, and they're even talking about some sort of retaliation, maybe sanctions against Oman, because of them getting closer to Iran, and they're working with Iran on controlling the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, they're acting like this is a surprising revelation. Really? I mean, for God's sake, Oman was front and center with the negotiations that were making progress, I might add, until the United States betrayed Oman by launching the attacks against, with Israel against Oman on the 28th of February. Yeah,
it's true. Best in threatened sanctions.
Yeah, I mean, why would Oman? Again, this is the U.S. conduct is what's driving these countries away from the United States. Donald Trump and his crew are so damn erratic that nobody can have any trust or confidence that we're going to do the right thing at all.
There's something else as well came in today from the Gulf. Before, I want to ask you about the discussion we had yesterday about the Pakistani nuclear warhead. Not sure if you have more updates, but I want to ask you more questions on it. Because it got me thinking yesterday. Me and Brendan Weichert were talking about it earlier today. No, I think yesterday or today we're talking. No, yesterday. I think I chatted to him after our interview because I know you had a conversation with him as well. And today, Larry Wilkinson and I had a similar conversation. So it's getting real. Like the risk of Iran having a nuclear weapon, if it doesn't have one already, is getting really real. Well, let me read the statement from the advisor to the president of the UAE, from the Arabian Gulf to Yemen. So this is UAE president's advisor, Anwar Gargash. Nothing, no revelation here, but I think it's important to read anyway. The UAE's been quiet recently. From the Arabian Gulf to Yemen, Lebanon and Iraq, we are all paying the price for Iran's inflated regional ambitions. No state in the region can play a role at the expense of shared security, stability, and prosperity. Review is required and inevitable on clear foundations: respect of sovereignty, good neighborliness, and non-interference in others' affairs. So this is a statement from the UAE. Not too aggressive. Usually they're a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, if the UAE would mind its own. Yeah, if they'd mind their own damn business and allow their country to be used as a launching pad for attacks against Iran, they wouldn't have a problem with Iran. That's the problem with these countries. They don't no self-reflection at all.
So there's more information on the strike just now. Iran targeted both Ali Al Salem Air Base and Camp Arifjan. It's been confirmed in a single attack. Not known whether there's been impacts, but it seems likely there was impact. The US and Iran have been exchanging small-scale strikes over Qasem Island and Kuwait in recent days, but this attack is much larger. Likely a newfound doctrine from the IRGC, as I was just saying, to one-up American strike in Qasem Island.
Yeah, they're gonna hit back twice as hard.
This video from just one of the Telegram groups here of the interception in Kuwait. Nothing. Again, we've seen all these throughout the war. But you can see here. Let me see. Play it. Just for the sake of speed, you can see the interceptions up in the air in Kuwait. There you go. Anyway, so these are the strikes, and we are seeing. I think we'd agree there that Iran is one-upping American attacks in the way they retaliate. Another story is interesting today. Former Israeli military intelligence chief Tamir Haiman says Turkish President Erdogan convinced Trump to abort a Kurdish-led invasion that was intended to serve as the opening move in the wider US-Israeli war against Iran. He also added that former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad was supposed to be part of a sequence of special operations in the initial phase of the war, potentially to be installed as the country's new leader. Okay, when Israeli intelligence...
Run that way.
Exactly, I was going to say.
They were going to put Ahmadinejad, aka I always called him my dinner jacket, just my way to help remember his name. That was the secret ace in the hole for this masterful Israeli CIA plot to put Ahmadinejad in. What? That is ridiculous.
Yes, Ahmadinejad is someone that's very hawkish against Israel, talks about destroying Israel. That's number one. Number two, if that was actually part of the plan, they won't just he's still there. He's still alive there in Iran.
Yeah.
If he was, which I don't believe he was, they wouldn't just say that openly. That's not how you treat. If you had someone working with you from an intelligence perspective inside a country, you wouldn't just announce his name. It's like the Americans saying, "Yeah, in Venezuela we work with Tom, Dick, and Harry to be able to get rid of Maduro."
All this is an attempt to put him in the hot seat, to try to create internal strife among IRGC and politicians, and to raise doubt and suspicion. But that's really ham-handed. I mean, come on.
Have you heard the news? Have you heard the news that Pezeshkian quit as well, Larry?
Oh yeah, Pezeshkian.
According to Iran International, credible source.
He's so upset that he's being isolated. Except our source, who is Pakistani.
That source of is going to get you in trouble, Larry.
Nah, we're okay. He's protected. But he commented that it was after the National Security Council meeting on Wednesday or Thursday. I guess we convened late Wednesday, early Thursday. Pezeshkian was the one tagged to go tell the Pakistani Prime Minister Sharif, "Hey, if the United States keeps up these strikes, these are the three things we're going to do. We're going to withdraw, break off the negotiations. We're going to withdraw from the Non-Proliferation Treaty, and we're going to set off a demonstration nuke. So tell them if they, is that the way they want to go? Fine, let them know." And then, so, if Pezeshkian was on the outs, he wouldn't be playing a central role in this. Not at all.
Just got a report of explosions in Isfahan, central Iran. Unconfirmed preliminary reports of explosions in Isfahan. We haven't seen any military activity to show large-scale attacks. So would you agree that this doesn't seem like a large-scale operation, just back and forth, like we've seen the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so far, no. Not a large scale.
I'll keep reading as things come out if it gets worse. Just going back to the point, because that was the main thing I wanted to focus on. So the discussion we had yesterday is that, just to make sure I understand it, and I don't know if you have more context, but to understand it, is that what the source says is that, okay, more missiles with all activity now concluded. Okay, that's before. Missiles also launched from Isfahan in central Iran as part of the earlier wave of launch. So the theory is that the possibility there is that Iran already has a nuclear warhead. Now, there's two scenarios they could have one. They could develop one themselves, which Ted Postal says there's 80% likelihood they developed one, or they could get one from Pakistan. Now, for Pakistan, and me and the Colonel Wilkinson were just speaking about it, and I said to him what I said to you yesterday. For Pakistan to do this, to give it to Iran, they need some sort of guarantee, some sort of support, because they depend on the US and China for their economy, a very vulnerable economy. And what you said to me yesterday is they would have done it with the okay of China. So that would be China backing their economy and any consequences they could face, correct? From the US.
Well, and don't rule out North Korea. There have been close relations and interactions between Iran and North Korea as well. So therefore,
your source mentioned Pakistan or no? Your source said it.
They mentioned another country.
So I misunderstood.
Another country that provided it was described as providing the knowledge that Iran used to manufacture the nuke. Apparently the tipping point was this combination of the surprise attack by Israel last June, the color revolution attempt in end of December 28th, and then this February 28th surprise attack on Iran by the United States and Israel. That all finally convinced the Israelis or the Iranians, we have to make a weapon. We have to defend ourselves. And it had the support of these other countries. So, China and Russia are well aware of what Iran's been doing. But apparently, this source indicated that Iran, in fact, now does have, they'll use it. They don't want to go that route, but if the United States doesn't back off, doesn't stop with these attacks, then it's going to escalate. And all I'm seeing is it's escalating. It's not de-escalating.
Yeah, because the attacks were smaller before, smaller in scale. Is it the same? That guy, I keep forgetting his name. The Pakistani guy that was very well known to share the secret that helped Pakistan build a nuclear weapon. Okay, I've got his name here because Abdul Akar Khan. Do you know the guys? Do you know that name?
Khan, AQ Khan.
Khan, yeah.
Yeah.
AQ Khan, there it is, AQ Khan.
AQ Khan, yeah. He was the man. He was the man. Pakistan played, he played a critical role in helping North Korea get its nuclear capability. He was also close with the Iranians.
Did he? And also Libyans, but that failed there.
Yeah. He was quite the man about town. He was target number one for the CIA.
That's what I thought you'd know about it. I have a feeling you had the document for the operation to target him was on your desk at some stage, Larry.
No. I was in Latin America. It was probably on the desk of my colleague.
He was probably
Valerie Plame
in Latin America as well. Your colleague.
Yeah, Valerie Plame was going after him. I know that.
Interesting.
So, yeah, she was. That was one of her targets. Yeah, so he was a big deal when he was around.
He was a Pakistani that helped Pakistan develop the nuclear weapon and then got that know-how and started selling it to other countries, providing it to North Korea, sold it to North Korea, sold it to Libya, but then Gaddafi, somehow the US played a role there in sabotaging this one, and then helped Iran as well. I don't know to what extent. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, so he was Mr. Proliferation.
Why did the US did they try to assassinate him, or they decided not to?
So I think they tried and just couldn't get him. So they would have captured him if possible.
So going to the as a final question there, to the discussion about building a nuclear weapon, just to confirm I got the story. So Iran had the technology to build a warhead. I think there's one technology they got from Russia, I think, is miniaturization, which plays a role. They don't need it, but that makes it easier to make it more compact to add it to a smaller warhead. But they have the technology, whether for a small warhead or a larger warhead. They do have at least one nuclear bomb, and they may use it as demonstration, as a deterrent for the US, for Israel, to ensure no future aggression.
Right. Now, even with 60% uranium, they can create a nuclear fission. They can create a device that it'll be a nuclear bomb, but that amount of radiation, that amount of enriched uranium makes a big clunky, and it's not really a very manageable bomb. So yeah, it's something you could create on a platform and stick in the middle of the desert and detonate it and say, boom, look, we got one. But it's not what you'd get with 90% enrichment. So anyway, all right, my friend. Well, I presume we'll be talking tomorrow. This is going to keep going.
It will. No other explosions or anything. We're good here. Just footage coming out of the interceptions, but I think the back and forth is done. So no restart of the war, Larry.
All right. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.